Hey guys, Diane McCrae here. Thanks, Sabrina, for joining me live. I know most people are going to watch this on the playback, but I'm really excited to do this tuna casserole with cauliflower breadcrumbs recipe. I'm going to hop right into it. I've done a little bit of prep already. And Sabrina, if you got questions, just ask as we go. But there's a couple of things that our test kitchens did that are kind of really cool. So here's how we're going to start off. Let's see, I got that. Okay, I've already got my okay, this is cool to the touch. I've already boiled my pasta, and for this I used our brand new Brilliance 4-quart cookware. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's got, can you see the little strainers right on the lid? So that as I'm cooking my pasta, it's going to be easy to strain. So bear with me for a second here. I've got, okay, you're going to love this trick. I know you're going to try this on something else. I've got our strainer here, and we've got a great set of mesh strainers. But what I want to tell you about this one here is that it's better for doing pasta. The mesh I like for veggies and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to pasta, the mesh strainers are just a little too fine. You really want something with more consistency in the material versus holes. And of course, I don't know if you can see, but it's got a little happy spoon all the way around the top. So here's where I think this is. Let's see if you can see it if it's over here. What we're doing is we're taking a package of frozen veggies, and I grabbed the mixed veggies. It's got carrots, yellow corn, cut green beans, green peas. Grab whichever one you like. These go on sale for like $1.88 or maybe even $1.18, I think. So you know me, always watching that budget cooking. Okay, watch this magic. We're going to take the pasta water and drain right over the veggies so that it is defrosting them as I am draining my pasta. That is like one of the smartest tips I've ever seen. I think you guys can see that. So here we go. I am using whole grain rotini. We've been on a whole grain pasta kick here since I started noon last year. So my husband still gets his pasta. I get my whole grain. We're both happy. Let me move this over here. And what I'm going to do next is move the camera. So I'm going to put this on a bowl so that it can continue draining. And let me move this over here. Follow me to my stove top. Okay, tell me, Sabrina, is it better without the light or with the light? I know it gives it a glare.
Let me see.
Okay, with the light? Oh. That one?
Kind of both is good. Maybe without the light, because the glare. That one's good. Oh wait.
Wait, is that one better? You can't see anything, huh?
The dim light. Did you have
Thanks.
a dim light?
Yep. There we go. Okay, so a couple of things on this recipe. Really great cooking tips that I want to share with you. One of them is that now I'm going to use my non-stick stainless steel skillet. It just happens to be my favorite. If we have time later, I'll talk a little bit about different skillets. Last night there was a clean out the fridge frittata in here. I definitely use it several times a week here at home. So we're going to start off with about a tablespoon of olive oil and a tablespoon of butter. Now, let me tell you a good reason to cook with a combination of, butter and oil, because the olive oil has a higher smoke point than butter. So you kind of get the best of both worlds, where you can cook the butter a little hotter because you've got the oil in there. But then also, oh, did I grab my milk? I did. But also, what we're doing right now is making the sauce for it. But also, you don't have to worry about the butter burning. So smoke points of oil, I posted something on both my Facebook page as well as, let me grab my notes here, as well as my the table cooking group about the different oils and the temperatures in which they will burn. Smoke point really means when they're going to burn. And what you want to be careful with on that is that like your peanut oil that has a much higher smoke point. I want to say it's around 450. I think the olive oil here is closer to, it ranged between 350 and 475. But butter, oh, I thought I had written that down. I didn't. I want to say butter will burn in the low 300s. So this way you get the best of both worlds. Another nice tip about having that is that you're cutting down on the amount of fat intake because olive oil is lower in saturated fats. And here's one that I really enjoyed learning is that you might want to add a little sea salt when you're using oil and butter. It says it gives your recipes a depth and richness you'll love, and it complements any dish in a way that oil alone just can't. So I'll be trying that later, not on this dish because I want to make sure it's lower in salt for my husband. Okay, so we got this going. The oven is preheating up to 400. And what I'm going to do after I put this in is we're going to whisk in the milk. Let me get this in the right order because I don't want to mess up. We're going to whisk in the flour. That was 3 tablespoons of flour there. And if you haven't seen this whisk yet, you're going to love this one. This is the new, I'm not even sure of the exact name of it, to be honest with you, but it came out last season. Oh, 3 cups of milk going in. Turn that up a little bit. And it has the best offset feature. So you can see that it's super easy to use in a pan. Now, when I talk about my frittata that I made the other day, when you're doing, cooking or scrambling multiple eggs, like I had, how many eggs? I did 12 eggs yesterday because we had a whole bunch of veggies. But usually in my frittatas, I'll do anywhere from 8 to 12 eggs. Because of the weight of this one, it just went right in and crushed up all those yolks. And you know how fun it is to find a yolk at the end of scrambling up a bunch of eggs? So this has been a very impressive whisk, just when I thought I don't need another stinking whisk. I really like this one. You've got the ergonomic handle, and then it is wrapped. Let me put it this way. It is wrapped in nylon, so I don't have to worry about scratching any pans. Okay, I'm taking a peek here so I don't mess up. We've got the milk, the rub. Okay, we're going to add the rub and the pepper. So for the rub, we're using 3 tablespoons of our 3-onion rub. This is one of my favorites. I know, Sabrina, you use this one all the time. You can actually see chunks of onion in there. The best recipe that I think Pampered Chef ever shared with me was on onion burgers. And we're also going to add some pepper. We like pepper in this house, so we're going to add. And the pepper has no measurements. So just add enough pepper until your heart says that's enough. Okay, that's enough. But I do want to let you guys know that that 3-onion burger recipe is part of the TasteBuds Hub. So if you're in there already, you've probably seen it. If not, run and see it. If you're not in TasteBuds and you like the recipe, I'll share it with you. Just send me a message. But let me tell you, that is one of the best recipes. The little tip that our test kitchens gave us in that recipe was to add a tablespoon, I think it was a tablespoon or 2 of ice cold water into the burger mix, because that will, it helps make the burgers juicier. That one little tip alone was worth that whole recipe, but that is a good one. You guys know, I tend to use our rubs for everything. Usually roasting vegetables, sometimes over popcorn. You'll see some of my favorite ones sitting right here because I use them just that often. So use them for whatever you would like. They're not a rub that you want to put over the top of, I mean, you can, but you don't have to just put it over the top of meat. Wouldn't it be funny if I got my notes on fire? I'm trying to be very careful with that. I noticed my pan wasn't quite centered, but let's see. I'm going to go back to my notes here to make sure I'm not missing anything. It's about 3 to 4 minutes, cook until thickened, and then we're going to whisk in the cheddar and the Parmesan. Okay, so I already made a mistake because I did not put more Parmesan in here. I only have it over the top. Remember, pampered, not perfect. Let me grab my cheddar. So in watching that show the other day, Pioneer Kitchen, a few weeks ago, Bree talked about what she called farm style cheese. You can actually buy it, grate it fat like this, and you want to use that in recipes like this where you want to take a bite and get a chunk of melted cheese, right? I'm going to show you I use the finer cheese for the topping, but for now, I'm using that, what they call farm style. And this is just the kind of recipe where you want to bite in and get a big old chunk of melted cheese, right? Because there's no such thing as too much cheese in my book, ever. Let me grab, while that's thickening, I'm grabbing the grater so you can see the difference. So Pemberton has two different graters right now. This one is sold completely by itself. And this is the one that I used for the cheese that's going to go over the top. Okay. They have changed the handle. So rather than that little, what do you call it, little push, you can just push this up to lower and lock, push it down, and that makes it adjust. So I did use this for the cheddars that's going over the top. And just like our ones before, we also have the finger saver, as I like to call them. The other one is a grater set. So one size has a nice fat chunk. The other one has a little thin chunk. This is the fine. This is the super coarse is what I call it. And when you want to take them apart, you just pull them apart like that. Super easy. So let me take this off because I do want to put a little Parmesan in here. So, oh, there we go. Now we got a little bubble going. It's like I can smell the flavor in here, you guys. It smells really good. I am going to go and grab my Parmesan because I missed that part of the recipe when I was prepping. On these cheeses here, like cheddar, what else? Cheddar, mozzarella, Swiss, you know, the ones that you can buy in bulk, I'm never going to buy it pre-shredded because all I'm doing is paying for some stuff that's not cheese in my cheese, right? That's when you have cellulose in your cheese. And I'm spending way too much money on cheese to give them a tip and give me something that's not cheese. So I do want to tell you, I always like to shop at Safeway. It's very convenient here to my house. And I go and I buy the chunk cheese. It's like a 32-ounce piece of cheese, right? And that's my pepper jack, my cheddar, my mozzarella, all that stuff. Usual price on that stuff is $9.99 a package. But when it's on sale, it's usually $5.99 or $6.99. So, you know, cheese freezes pretty well. So I'll buy that and freeze some. So you're getting a little budget-friendly cooking information in here too. But I will go ahead and freeze that up and cut it in half when I first get home. Keep what I need, put the rest in the freezer, and there you go. You notice that I'm not measuring this Parmesan because let's be honest, you can never have too much cheese. That's just how I feel. That's always going to be how I feel about cheese. Okay, our sauce is ready. It's gotten a little thicker. Oh, yes, perfect. I don't know if you can see the consistency as to how it's stirring now versus how it stirred before. Just making sure all those, oh, wow. That melted right in. I'm wondering if I screwed that up. You guys, we're going back to pampered, not perfect. Because I am thinking, oh no, that did go there. It also says stir in the salt there. I'm not going to add salt. I'm going to let us add salt at the end if we decide we need it. Okay, now we're going to move back over to here and let me put this all together for us. Let's see how you can see me. Nope, over here. Hope I'm not making you dizzy. Okay, here we go. A couple things I have set up over here for us already. And let me know if you can't see it, Sabrina, and I can switch it around. But I'm actually going to use my new 9x13. Also comes with a lid tray. that you can cook on as well. If you're cooking without, this is stoneware, and I have already went ahead and put some butter inside because it's such a greasy interior. Let me grab my pasta first.
Can you push your camera back just a little bit so we can see the
Thank
stone
you.
fully? Perfect.
Thank you. I needed that. Okay, so we're going to start off now. The recipe calls for a 12-ounce pasta. Mine happens to be 16-ounce. So I did increase the milk, the cheese a little bit as well. And it was the same with the vegetables. Oh, wait, I'm going to leave that out so I can talk about that. And then we're going to add the veggies in. Okay. And we're going to add the tuna in. You guys, this one's dishwasher safe, so it's super easy to clean. For the tuna, of course, I used my can opener and the can strainer. I always grab my tuna that is it packed in water. And for this one, you need 10 ounces. So I just got the big size. It's 12 ounces. It did say to drain it and then flake it. So I took it out and flaked it first. I think that's going to help it mix in a little better. Let me put this all in. Guys, I hate to say this, but it actually smells really good. Being a non-tuna casserole girl, I am kind of impressed that I think it smells good. Okay, let's mix this all together. Now, I do want to give you some tips on the albacore tuna. Albacore tuna is also called a white tuna. Oops, I got some veggies that don't want to come apart. Yep, they're coming apart. There we go.
That's our favorite tuna. It's only the one we use.
Is it? So what I found out, because I did some looking up stuff just to have a little bit more to give you, but albacore is a better source of heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids than other tunas. It's a healthier choice that's good for one's heart and even fights certain types of cancer. So there you go, helping you healthy and tasty. But I'm going to go backwards for a second here because that tip about the butter and oil, I have been doing that for a long time. And I had heard years ago it was about the splatter factor, that it didn't splatter so much when you had that in there. So I'm like, yeah, sure, let's try it. But the flavor is so much better. So I will always continue doing that. Okay, another tip about the tuna. Why is albacore tuna so much more expensive? In fact, it is the only tuna among the 7 types that is hailed as having the truest white meat. In the grocery stores, it can also be marked as fancy white or simply white tuna. This is probably the reason why it's more expensive than regular tuna because it's considered fancy. Okay, let me grab the sauce. Because now I'm going to go ahead and pour the sauce in. Oh, I should have grabbed a scraper to get this all out. And also because we're here on the nonstick, I'm not worried about cheese and sauce sticking. Okay, now you guys, I knew that. Oh, look at that. It's getting it all out. So I'm using our spoon from the new silicone utensil set. You may have heard me say before that I am so not good with new. And when I have tools that I love and use all the time, and then they break out something new, it's usually hard for me to try because I like what I'm used to and it works. But in this case, I'm glad I tried it. I do like the fact that it's got a little bit of a smaller handle so that it fits in the dishwasher much easier. And they really do have a nice soft grip. So they are easy to use. No, it's ergonomic, it's rounded edges, pretty easy. Okay, this is all mixing up. Remember, I did not add any salt. And next we're gonna go ahead, before I start on the cauliflower mix, I do want to tell you a little bit about this particular stoneware, because this is our newest stoneware, and it's called partially glazed. This is excuse me, let me call it this way, not to screw up with the gray stoneware that we have. This is white satin partially glazed. This is a little bit different than our 9x13s from the past. We also have with this one a pie plate. And there's one more. Why can't I think of the third one? I'll remember. Oh gosh, I can see the picture. Okay, there's one more. But the nice thing about this partially glazed stoneware is or the white satin is what I should call it, is that it can go up to 500 degrees. Our previous stoneware could only go up to 450, which is why I had to grab that instead of my well-seasoned stone that I've had for years, because the other stoneware can only go up to 400. Excuse me, 450. And this, because of the top, is going to finish off in the broiler, well, at 500. So let me take a peek at my notes to see what I'm missing. Okay. Next is our topping. So I'm going to move this a little bit this way so you can see over here. And what I did is I did do this ahead of time. Remember when I talked, I should have kept a piece of that cheese out. Is there one left? Not really. I got all the cheese in there. When I did, this is the topping, and this is some Parmesan that I grated with the the fine grater, and then the medium-sized one. And the reason for this is we do want this to be more choppy and to mix in. And then the cauliflower rice. So here's a cup. Let me go ahead and mix that in there. And I want to show you, I forget who it was. I'm not making fun of you, but it was really funny because somebody asked me, where do you get cauliflower breadcrumbs? My answer was, you make them. It's super easy. So in here is our little bit of Parmesan, our cheddar, and our cauliflower breadcrumbs, AKA cauliflower rice. But let me show you how easy it is with the Flex multi-purpose tool to do that. This is called the Flex Prep. I always say it wrong. What I've got here now, the Flex is great because it works on battery operated. So you don't have to have a cord tying you down to one spot. And then I am using my cutting blade, but with this, you'll also get a slicing blade and a grating blade. And I've got a bunch of chunks here. I'm just going to throw them in. In fact, I'm going to throw in the rest of what I have, just because this is going to be part of dinner, maybe tomorrow or lunch. So in the past, I have done cauliflower rice using my manual food processor. That will work as well. But I got to tell you, this is so much easier. Manual food processor is great, but you know what? You can't do a lot. It's a smaller quantity that you put in there. So we're going to put our battery pack on, or our power pack, I should say, and then our battery. And there is a little safety feature so that you're never going to use this and turn it on without water. So there we go. Okay, that's it. That is just how easy it is. And let me show you how fine those are. In, was that 10, 15 seconds? This is a great power tool. It does so much. Now, the other pieces that I'm not using, can you guys see how fine that is? The other pieces that it also has, because it's a prep set, so you also have the immersion blender that comes with this, and you also have beaters and whisks. I mean, we've never had a whisk beater before. So depending on what you're using, that's going to work out great for you too. Super easy to use, great instructions. That's always important, right? So let me go ahead and sprinkle this all over the top. Now, I'm double checking. Okay, this bowl I'm using here. So last March, we came out with a 4-quart mixing bowl. Looks just like this, but bigger. And I thought, oh, I do not need another bowl. I've got my batter bowls. I absolutely love them. I do not need another bowl. And then I used it and changed my mind because it's much wider than our batter bowls. Now, don't get me wrong. You know I'm still going to use my batter bowls. And I've got 4 of them actually under here that I use all the time. This is it. It's good to go in the oven. Hang on, I'll be right back. Oven's at 400. It's going to cook for 18 to 20 minutes at 400, and then until it's bubbling. And then the last 5 minutes, turn the oven up to 500 to create that crispy crust. Watching closely to keep the cheese from burning, and add garnishes if you like. The garnishes could be fresh parsley or chives. We're not doing garnishes. I'm going to set my timer to 13 minutes, knowing that we want to stop the last 5 minutes and change it up. Okay. While that is cooking, here's my notes of other goodies I want to tell you. Now, I may not keep this going to the full 18 minutes. I don't want to keep you, but don't worry. I will definitely put a picture out when it's over. So I mentioned the white satin partially glazed stoneware and how it's different than our other unglazed stoneware. I got on my notes so I don't forget. And then cauliflower. Here's what I wanted to tell you. I am a big fan of cauliflower pizza. We do it all the time here, and that's exactly how we get it done. Cauliflower is a cruciferous vegetable that is naturally high in fiber and B vitamins. It provides antioxidants and phytonutrients that protect against cancer. Okay, so there's 2 cancer-fighting ingredients in this recipe, which makes it even better. It also contains fiber to enhance weight loss and digestion, choline that is essential for learning and memory. I know I need that, and many other important nutrients. So that's some of the benefits of eating your cauliflower. I kind of call it the no taste food because you can mix it into anything. Like I have had some extra cauliflower rice in the past. I'll throw it into an omelet or a frittata. Just goes in there and makes it great. But if you need a good cauliflower crust pizza recipe, hit me up. I'll be happy to share mine with you. Another thing, and Sabrina and I were talking about this before we started, but if you don't want to do it with tuna, you can swap out chicken, a can of chicken or rotisserie chicken cut up in place of your tuna. And of course, for the pastas, you've got all kinds of options. They suggest using small shells, fusilli, or bow ties because these pasta shapes hold up very well in the oven, keeping their shape while holding the creamy sauce. Because this wouldn't be so great with spaghetti because you want that pasta that's going to hold the creaminess. So that's why this is such a good change. The last thing I want to share with you before I end is about the seasonings I'm using. Let's see, can I really grab all of these at once? Oh, I think I did. So a lot of you have tried our Pampered Chef pantry items over the past. Italian and dill were the first ones that were in the line back when I started in 1994. They're still in the line. That's how good they are. But there are some great special sets this starting October 1st through the end of the month, end of the year for gift sets. So we do have one that's called the air fryer gift set. And that one has the garlic parmesan and the salt and vinegar. And what's the last one? Salt and vinegar, garlic parm, rotisserie. Okay. And the reason those are in there, I don't have them all here. Here's my Italian, is they're very fine particles. And when you're doing things in an air fryer, you do want fine particles so that it's not little chunks that burn. You know, like if you had garlic chunks in something, that could certainly burn getting close to the element. But these are made so that they don't burn. Now, that doesn't mean they're only used in the air fryer. I kind of use them on everything. In fact, garlic parm, I love on popcorn. It's so good. Okay, another set that we have right now is the everything taco and everything pizza and everything bagel. They're so good. Just use them for everything. My friend tried the everything bagel just on her avocado toast. She tried the 3 onion in her omelet. She's in love. She hasn't made the recipes that came in her TasteBuds yet. Here's my 3 onion. I mentioned I use that all the time. Okay, here's one that's kind of unknown, Greek. There's some recipes we have with Greek, but I also have to tell you, it is a great pasta additive, a pasta salad additive. Throw in your olives, your red onions, some feta cheese, some bell peppers, cucumbers with cooked pasta, and this Greek with a little lemon juice. It is one of the best pasta salads I've ever made. And then lemon garlic and my other favorite, oh, lemon pepper, lemon garlic. Really, really tasty. Love these on fish and chicken. But, you know, they're for everything. So whatever flavors your family likes, let me help you find some of our rubs or pantry items that work with it. The good thing about using this is you don't have to go grab several items. Now, if I was 10 years younger, I would grab my glasses and read you what's in here, but that's not going to happen because I'm still not going to be able to see you even with my glasses. So the ingredients are on the list. Most of them are low in salt. The ones that have a lot of barbecue flavor are going to be higher in salt and sugar. but the Greek is very low on both. So depending on what you're watching and what you're trying to do in your health journey, that's going to help you decide. Okay, guys. Sabrina, do you have any questions? I know you're probably eating your dinner by now. But if you guys have any questions, I am going to post the replay so that everybody can see later. I know it is dinner time, so that's why a lot couldn't join me. But this is going to be a monthly feature here in this table group. So come on back next time. I'm picking the date based on when the Pampered Chef Test Kitchen is doing theirs. And I know in November, it's going to be November 9th at, and we're featuring Joy Bauer. It's 5 o'clock because it's in Central Time Zone. So come on back. That one, I don't remember what the recipe is, but Joy Bauer is a cookbook author and she's on TV, Today Show all the time. So she's going to be a fun one to collaborate with. So mine will be probably 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks after that. I just want to not have them so close together. Let me take a peek. Hang on, guys. Ooh, I can see the cheese kind of bubbling up through. Oh. Okay, guys, I will show you the picture when it's all done. Thank you so much for joining, Sabrina. I hope I gave you lots of fun tips and ideas for the future. And I will post the picture when it's done. Bye, Sabrina. Thanks for joining me. Enjoy your dinner.